Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing how I built the world's fastest Tuttio as of right now. So this is kind of what the bike looks like, and the only thing that's in it right now is the Soleil motor. Now this step is very easy and it doesn't really need an explanation. All you do is slide the old motor out. There's 4 bolts on the bottom. You take them out, put them back in with the Soleil. The only downside I have to this is this brake line is getting pinched. Now it works fine, but when the motor gets super hot, I'm hoping it doesn't cause too much damage. I haven't had any issues yet, and I've been doing those crazy flybys and really heating this motor up. Now, it doesn't get too hot, but that's just one of the issues. The other thing is this skid plate had to get cut down. It was about this high, and I had to cut it down quite a bit. I think that's where it used to bolt in right there. These phase wires are super long too, like they're just coiled up down in there. Also, the Hall sensor, I had to cut that and do little PCB Arduino pins, and I had to connect all of those, waterproof solders. And I'm gonna jam these into a Suron wiring harness female connector in a second. So these are all male connections, and I'll show exactly what I did. Now, something about this motor is I don't have the Hall sensor tuned correctly in the EBMX app. So it is a little glitchy, the motor, until you get up to about 8 miles an hour, and then it runs smooth. Now, I need to talk to EBMX and Soleil about getting a tune for this, but as of right now, it's a little glitchy. For the wiring harness, this is all there really is. Now, it might not look like a Suron wiring harness because I cut everything I don't need off of here. So all that's left is the key, ignition, the EBMX connector piece. These are the Suron ones. And then down here, I have the throttle. This is the Hall sensor. One of these two is the kickstand. I should cut that off. And this right here is your main power in. So that's the wiring harness, which is super simple. I'm glad I cut everything off. Now I will be using one that has the 12-volt converter soon, so I'll need a new one. So this is just the version 1. Here is the backside of the EBMX controller. Now it looks a little confusing, but all it is this thing, which I don't even know what that does. This goes to the egg rider display, which is the display screen on the handlebars and the thumb regen. This is what connects to the Suron wiring harness. This is the Bluetooth piece, and that's it for these. This is where your motor phase wires connect, and this is a Suron power lead, and there was no breakers available online, so I just soldered this together and then electrical taped it. And that's my power leads going in, so this is the negative and the red positive. So this is for a Suron battery. Something that's a nice extra feature about this egg rider and thumb displays, it has this wire that merges into 2. Now the old Tuttio wires go through this handlebar like connection piece. So all you do is pop it through there, drop the wire down, and this just makes it look so much cleaner. Now you can't do that with the throttle wire, unfortunately, just because the connection piece on the end is too big. But that tucks down super nice. And then this rubber cap goes right over the top of it. Just like that. Now for the throttle wire, I just have it coming out on the bottom here. And I'm just gonna tuck that up under. Just like into here for now. So the next step is to get the EBMX connected to these 3 phase wires from the motor. This is how the bike is looking right now. I got the 3 phase wires connected correctly. And you're probably wondering, how are you gonna mount this? Because this is how the old controller mounted, these 3 screws. So I'll be reusing these 2 with a custom bracket you'll see in a second that goes across. I had to cut that, drill some holes, and I painted it black so it wouldn't rust because I'm using steel, not aluminum. I had to drill through the frame on both sides here. That's going to go across from there to this screw here. So it's a plate that's about this long. Also, I had to custom make both of those, but that's really the only customization I had to make on the bike, and I'm glad I could reuse these top 2 holes. And something interesting I found is this little pocket back here. It's pretty big. You could definitely fit like a 12-volt converter in there, which is what I'll be doing, so I can put a headlight, and I want to put a tail light on this as well very shortly here. So got the Suron wires connected. The next thing I'm going to do is put these panels on, these custom plates, and feed all the wires kind of up through. Here are the mounting brackets that I just got done painting. Now the holes on them aren't perfect because I just hand drilled them. And I just grinded them with an angle grinder, but they work. So these two go on the bottom, which you'll see, and this is the top one. So we're gonna be working in the top holes here and there. I'm gonna start with the furthest one out. I just got one of the bolts that actually came with the Tuttio, and I'm just gonna thread that in. Now, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna put Loctite on all of these bolts so nothing comes loose. Might have overdone that a little bit. Now we'll do the other side. Not too tight because this frame is kind of weak and the threads aren't that crazy. For the ones that go into the frame, I got one of these bolts right here, nothing too big. I don't know the exact sizes on them, but I'm just gonna go through this frame hole right there. I did have to drill it. I used a couple of different bits, progressed bigger as I went. So it goes right in, and then I got one of these washers that I put on the inside. And now we got this bracket. It's gonna go on just like that. One more washer on this side, and then a nut. I just put these two bolts in right there. I need to get two washers on there as well. Just like that. Now when I put this EBMX on here, I need to put washers in front of that as well. One of them is on, just gotta get the other side now. And this process is kind of difficult. Moving on to the bottom. Gotta have a bunch of these washers just to evenly space this out. Now, a little bit of an issue I have is this bolt is just way too long. I haven't had time to go to the store and fix it, so it's gonna be too long in this video. It doesn't really affect anything though, it just needs to be like a 1/4 inch shorter, but I'm gonna go ahead and once again do this on the other side. So after about 30 minutes of just untightening these and then those and then back and forth trying to get this to fit, it finally went on. Now, this one on this side was the issue, and it looks like it's not on just because the bolt's too long, but it is. I need to go get some smaller ones later today, but the next step is this wire that we fed down through here. I tuck everything over top of this plate, just like that. And the throttle, I just ran under the ODI plate. As you can see, this connector is way too big to feed down the middle column. So I'm also gonna feed that right in there. Now this brake line cable just kind of sits right under here and it works great. I put this rubber casing under there, even better. The next step is connecting all of these Sur Hall sensor wires together. They're all color coded, and this is just how it came from Soleil. The blue one goes down there. So I just jam it in the bottom one, then green. See it just like that. And then I'm gonna pull this casing up and over. And also just tuck that brown wire down in there. Just like that. I'm not gonna zip tie this shut, but you can. Now the rest of this harness I need to get in here as well. We're about to start connecting stuff up. All right, one of the first things we're gonna do is get this power wire kind of out of the way. And this piece of the like black circular end, I'm gonna shove down into where the motor is, just down there where the rest of those wires. All right, this next one goes to the A grider thumb region. Just match those arrows up, click it in. Try to tuck this as far up and out of the way as possible. The next one is from the Sur wire harness. Also, this thing can just float around. It's the Bluetooth piece. So I'll just leave that up the side. And this piece has to connect. This is the power line that comes off of the power leads in. Now, this is the key. And the only other thing that we have to connect is the EBMX controller pins. And then screw them together as tight as possible. And give it one more big push and screw it. Okay. Now, you don't want these hall sensor wires going anywhere, so I'm gonna just tuck it kind of like that. I'm using the Suron tri-battery 72 volt compact, like Pulsar I think it's called. Now, since I don't have a breaker, whenever I plug this battery in, it's gonna make a popping sound, which is not good, but it's okay. Just try not to unplug the battery a lot. This is where my key's going. I'm just pulling it up right here. I don't know where else to really put it. So just tuck stuff like the Bluetooth thing back down in there. I'm gonna be zip tying this to the front controller area. I just pulled the battery back out because I forgot to mention, in this black hall sensor bag here, you need to plug the throttle in. Make sure it clicks too, because you don't want to cut off mid-ride. Now at this point, you should be able to put the key in, turn it on, have the A grider display, activate, bump the mode up. You'll see that glitching thing I'm talking about. So you get to about 8 miles an hour, so you can just kickstart it like this. Or just push start it, but this thing just sounds ridiculous. In the past video, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, right at the flyby, it was at 72 volts. This is now up to 84 fully charged, so it's a lot quicker. It could easily do 70 miles an hour, which I think I might try to do today, but that's scary on a mini bike like this. So on to the next part of being the seat. Obviously, a stock seat can't fit on there, so what I did is pulled out all the staples on this seat, and yeah, it's a little bit muddy. Cut it with a Sawzall, and then just kind of tucked it back over. Most people staple it, but I just tucked it back over, and it fits on just fine. Just like that. And you can still screw this piece in. And yeah, the rest of the seat looks like this. Now, I threw it in the trash, but you could keep it for something else. I don't know why you would, but the memory foam on it's pretty good. But I need to figure out where to put this key and a lid cover for this. These wires being out just doesn't look too good, and if you wheelie, this thing could fall out technically if you drop it back far enough. But yeah, let's bring this thing on a little ride. As I was about to bring this out of the garage, the grips arrived. Now these are Suron grips. I doubt they're gonna be easy to put on, so I'm gonna do the soap, which will help. That's not good. Just made a mess, but these are on. That went on pretty easily. All right, down this road, I'm gonna bump this up to 16 kilowatts, to 600 phase amps, the max this motor can actually handle. And we're gonna see how it does. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Looked like I was peaking at about like 13 kilowatts. I don't think okay, these wires are warm, very warm actually. I don't think I have my amps set up right. 68.7 miles per hour. That is nuts. I bumped it up from 150 amps. So we're gonna try this again. This time we're hitting 70 miles an hour. We go. We're gonna see what we hit here. 69.1, guys. That is 70 miles per hour on this bike. 69.1. I'm gonna put a screenshot of that on the screen right now. Wow. Now, these wires are hot. Let's see how. Okay, that Soleil motor is burning hot. Woo! I'm gonna take it easy on the way home. But there you guys go. That is the top speed run on this thing. No, I think I only pushed about 13 kilowatts once again. So I should be able to go faster. I'll figure that out and leave that in the next video. But 69 miles an hour, guys. That's 70 miles an hour on a Tuttio.